day, everyone. Happy New Year to all our listeners. I am Sunant, and I'm part of the content team at MoEngage. I'm going to be a host today for the fireside chat: 4 ways to energize your organic app growth for 2020 with Sumon Chandra. All right, so let's get started. I'm really excited to be chatting with Sumon Chandra. He's the AVP of Marketing at Pocketaces. It's India's fastest growing digital entertainment company that runs such popular brands like FilterCopy, Dice Media, Loco Game, etc. I'm sure many of us have heard about FilterCopy and Dice Media. He has worked with House Joy in the past and has been awarded as the top 100 digital marketing leader at the World Marketing Congress 2019. Hi, Sumon, and welcome to the webcast. We're excited to have you here.
Hey Sunant, good morning and very good morning to all of you, and very wishing you happy New Year. I'm very much excited to join this webinar, and I welcome everyone to this webinar. So basically, today we will discuss about multiple aspects on the growth for basically focus on app, and let me just give you a little bit brief about myself. My name is Suman, and I currently work at Pocketaces as the head of marketing. And we have multiple, channels like FilterCopy, Dice Media, Gobble. We also have game like Loco. I highly suggest that please go and play Loco, and we will have a very much exciting time on Loco. We are getting esports on Loco in the month of Feb. So you can stream your any game on Loco. You can also view. And before Pocketaces, I had worked with House Joy 4 years, and it's a long journey for me. And it's been like I was responsible for overall growth, category, marketing, partnership, PR, everything. Then before House Joy, I had part of OTA like Rooms Tonight, Zip Dial, multiple other startup. My education background is BTech, so I would love to start today with the app growth strategy.
Thanks for the introduction, Suman. Let's begin the chat. Okay, today's discussion will be about organic app growth strategies and that we can implement for 2020. It's a highly essential element for any company today, and setting these strategies into play when you begin the year is very important to see the success as we go down the line. To help you with this, we have Suman here, and he will discuss his strategies and give us some really vital information, some case studies, some numbers, and tools, and various other aspects of organically growing your app. So let's begin the first question. Suman, shall I get in?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sure. Okay. So the first question to you is, what are the necessary tools, according to you, that an app marketer needs to have in their portfolio, right? And also, can you give us different scenarios with examples of various types of apps and the data points that need to be collected?
Absolutely. So this is very important, questions for any app marketer. It can be, someone starting today, who just, building an app, or maybe, who just maybe started 6 months back and now figuring out which tools need to we have. So, I'll start with very basic, then I will go in deep level. So for any app marketer, the basic tools will be like analytics and the attributions tool. So anyone can start with Firebase or Google Analytics, which are actually free of cost, and those SDKs are pretty much available in the Google forum. You can integrate that SDK and to your APK build and also your iOS build, and which is like step-by-step process are already mentioned in the docs which Google provide. And here, for example, in Firebase, you can pretty much integrate all your app events based on your app screen initially to understand the app flow and the funnel. So it's again very much basic. You will not get a lot of details in Firebase or in Google Analytics, because these are like aggregate level data and not like a user level data. You will find too much. But again, if you want to spend a little more time and want to invest for a long-term basis, and if you want to grow your app on a huge scale based on the the business goal, it can be any categories of business. It can be food, grocery, or any e-commerce, or any kind of travel, OTA. So you should probably choose attributions tool, a strong attributions tool. So in market there are like a lot of tools are available, like AppsFlyer, Singular, Adjust, Branch, Kochava. Multiple tools are available. So every tools will have their pros and cons. So obviously AppsFlyer is a very much popular tool, right? All tools will have their advantage and disadvantages. So primarily what I can suggest for any app marketer is, please go through the basic features of any attributions, which is necessary and which is usable, and what is your marketing goal in terms of getting non-organic install, because that's why this attribution platform will going to charge you. So that is very important for you to understand that how this attributions partner are going to charge end of the month. So that is based on your non-organic installs. So that can be 20 cent, 25 cent, 30 cent, depending on the platform. They have these variables, and all platforms store data on cloud, so you will have that flexibility. And top of that, if you want to know fraud, and also that will be like next level of any attributions. So, and then you need to have the analytics, which should be very much deeper level to understand your app funnel. It can be city level funnel, it can be or your aggregate level funnel, it can be regional level funnel. How you want to see your app like user behaving. Let's say, for example, in Bangalore, how many people actually open your app, and then multiple stages, how those people are actually filtering out. Like, let's say 1,000 people come, and 10 people are actually booking your the orders, booking orders, or maybe placing or scheduling an order based on the company. So you have to see the funnel based on city, based on category, based on region. It is very important to see the data. So that is like a very basic of any analytics. Then you have to create your cohort. So fundamentally is you have to get a user. User can get from organic, from paid, from any other sources, right? So the first thing you have to remember is that this is when you are setting up a tool, it should be long term. It should not be like you can't change the tool in every month or every second month. So you have to take this decision wisely and thinking of a long term perspective. So please go through all the tools, because mostly you will see that some tools are very much popular in India, but they are actually costly, right? So for a startup who are actually starting the business, for them it will be very much hectic cost that per month they have to bear, right? So in taking that consideration, right? So there are other tools also available which you should definitely consider if the money is the main thing. But I highly recommend that please go through the product features, which is important for marketing, and then you decide for the tool. And checking those data, which is important. So primarily any attributions tool will give you the source level data. Let's say you are getting user from Facebook, Google, or maybe any other sources. So it is important for you to know that the traffic quality. So let's say you are getting user from Google, and what kind of quality you are getting. Let's say maybe it can be for gameplay, or it can be for a customer acquisition. Then you need revenue. So whether you are getting revenue back from those sources or not. So what I'm trying to tell you is, whether it's an organic user or a paid user, or in paid, what are the sources you are actually spending. You have to see the quality. So you don't spend the money on just for the name of the company, let's say Google or Facebook. So any sources can be good or bad. You just have to see based on your business category, and you have to also see the data. So that data, primary level data, will be available on your attributions tool. Okay, let's say for here like AppsFlyer or Singular or Adjust, they will give you this attributions level data. For example, Google is a source, then what is the quality of that? Let's say how many people are opening after install, how many people are actually doing the category visit or the business visit, or maybe the gameplay. So all sort of in-app event action you will see based on the event, based on the source. So that is very important, and you will get those data in attributions tool. So I will highly suggest that please go through all kind of tools and see the pros and cons. Mostly is the basic features will be same, but there will be multiple actions which is actually different between these tools. For example, today in 2020, nobody care about install number. Today people care about revenue, today people care about gameplay, today people care about the action what people are taking, right? So people, nobody actually care about the Play Store number, right? It can be 1 million, 2 million, doesn't matter. How many people are actually active, that is matter. So that is based on your product stickiness, that is based on the quality of the users. So I highly suggest that focus for the tool. Don't just use or get the tool based on the price or maybe the hype or in the popularity, right? So yeah, I think that will be most of it in terms of choosing any attribution platform. Analytics platforms are pretty much available in multiple good platforms like Amplitude. I highly suggest who are using Amplitude. So they know it's basically very complex tool, and in you can go in very much different module, different segments, and you can create multiple on your report, multiple dashboards, multiple funnel, multiple events. You can in fact go to user level, you can go to multiple attributions level data, and you can actually take decisions. So analytics tool is also very much important as attributions. So I highly suggest Amplitude, one of the best tools in the market. There are other tools also available, but I don't want to take a lot of names here. But I highly suggest that please research for the analytics and get the best analytics tools, which will also help you to take decision in terms of your user cohort, your user retention, D7, D1, D30. All you have to understand all those data based on the acquisition source, which is very important. Then take your marketing strategy step forward, so that ROI perspective, it will be much better.
Okay. That sounds good. It was that was a lot of information. Thanks a lot, Sumon. So basically, what you're saying, like to summarize it, is basically what you're saying is that it's based on the goals that your brand has, and what you need to do is you need to do a long-term goal setting, and then based on that you decide the tools, and then you go in and then you purchase them or use them. Thanks a lot. So let's move on, Sumon. Question number two. We know that active users on an app is the most vital KPI for any app marketer. You ask any app marketer what is it that you think about 24/7. It's about active users. There is nothing else that comes to their mind, right? So on that note, can you tell us more about how to increase your DAU, WAU, and MAU, your daily, weekly, and monthly active users?
Absolutely. So this is very important irrespective of business categories, as you rightly said. So it can be for a game app, or it can be for a e-commerce app, or a OTA, or it can be any kind of business category. So everybody want to get maximum users who open their app, right? Whether they purchase or not doesn't matter, but they should open the app, they should browse the app, they should go through the content, or they should go through the categories business, right? So how to get that, right? So see, basically we have to understand is that stickiness primarily comes from product. Okay, so marketing is just a tool, marketing is just a features. Marketing can only do the awareness bit. For example, you have 100k users or you have a million users. Those users, as a marketer or as a marketing managers, we can only make aware those million customer that, hey, look, we have this on the app, this tournament is happening, this game is happening, or this flash sale is happening, we have price drop. We can only inform, but it is up to the product. If the product is not that good, it will eventually drop. So what I mean is, whatever we are communicating in the marketing communication, through banners or through content, through push notification, it should convey the same kind of message inside app. So most of the times, even I also observe for a big companies, I don't know to take their names, but it actually doesn't match. What I'm trying to say is, maybe a marketing banner, I saw a marketing banner which is saying 50% off, but I click that banner, I open the app, nowhere it's mentioned 50% off. So it is very much important to fit the marketing and product should match, and we should work very closely with the product managers to have a seamless user behavior for the users, right? That is very important. So now I will get to that how to maintain or how to scale your DAU, WAU, or MAU, right? So primarily, no need to think in a very complex level. If your DAU is decent, your WAU or MAU will eventually be better. It's just like uh, if you are getting 100K or 200K or 300K DAU, your WAU or MAU will must be like it should be better. It should be much better, because that is how the growth will be for any app, right? So now how you will get to that, right? So one is, primary is your product should be good. If the user is coming, it should not be crash, or the app should be open. You should convey the same kind of message, which I had already covered. Second thing is that on a marketing standpoint, you should have very much strategy on your paid and non-paid kind of strategy. So whereas I first I will go with the non-paid strategy, which is your existing user. Maybe let's say you have 1 million customer, so you can't let them go any given point of time, right? So that is why it is very important for a marketer to see the data and take the decision, and data also in a different funnel, different segment, different cohort, right? So existing users, you have to do multiple customer lifecycle campaign, multiple automation campaign, so that you will get maximum revenue from your existing user. Because if you are getting maximum revenue from your existing users, on a marketing spend wise, it will be much efficient for you to get the revenue from the existing user, because you already paid for those customers, you already acquired those customers. Why not to take revenue back from those users, right? So we should definitely be smart, and we should definitely take the first step from the marketing action on the existing users who are already downloaded your app, who are opening your app on a daily level or maybe a weekly level. You have to break it, that data, into different segment, maybe D1, D7, D30, D15, and you have to see by category. Your business can have a multiple category and multiple games, for example, or multiple aspect inside the app. So you have to break it down, you have to see the data, then you have to make customer life cycle. So whereas you can also cross sell maybe one category to another category, which is pretty much easy for today, using any smart tool like MoEngage or any other automation tool which is available in the market. So you can pretty much cross sell in between one category to another category. For example, let's say someone has availed beauty service, okay, for example, in house joy, for example. So we can cross sell home cleaning, right? So we someone has availed mobile, for example, purchase mobile from e-commerce. You can also cross sell the back covers or maybe a headphone, right? So you have to see the cross sell categories which should be matched with the core category, and you have to do a whole automation campaign, right? Based on your segment, there'll be yes, no, different kind of campaigns you can do with the help of different channel like SMS, email, push notification. So it's very important, and these are the channels are very much cost effective. This is not heavy cost like programmatic or Google, Facebook. Trust me, this will be much efficient in terms of ROI, and you will get a better revenue back from those users, right? So so primarily you have to do this customer lifecycle through your existing users to get maximum revenue and maximum app open. So obviously you will increase your DU on a decent range. Then I will also go back to the RTB platform, which is like real-time bidding. So what it does mean is, let's say you have 100K users who already installed, and maybe they haven't opened your app in some time, right? So those users you can target in multiple platform, which like maybe they use every day. Maybe let's say some user using Hotstar, or some user is using Crickbuzz because cricket is happening. So you can use those apps, and you can target your existing user via this RTB platform, right? There are Google DR, there are Facebook DPA campaign. We can do different programmatic retargeting campaign through your device IDs or advertising IDs, and you can retarget those users, and those users will be much cheaper in terms of customer acquisition cost. So what I mean is, let's say first time if you're acquiring a user, there will be a cost. So reacquiring the same user, or retargeting those users will be much cheaper, not even 50% of that cost, and you will get the revenue. Because ultimately for any business you need a revenue, or you need the gameplay, based on the business goal, you need that stickiness. So today we are talking about how to increase the DAU. So obviously your DAU will eventually increase if you use the non-paid channel, which is the marketing automations, as well as your RTB platform, which will be much cheaper in terms of cost. Then I will cover the paid one. So in terms of paid, you have to see that which marketing source is giving you maximum app open, or maximum registration, or maximum category visit, or maximum revenue. So this goal can be, or this KPI can be based on business, but we have to figure out the fundamental quality of the source. Let's say Google USC, you are running the campaign and you are not getting app open or registration. Please look into the campaign. Don't spend because it's Google, right? Because Google is not only running on search, is also running on display, is running on multiple other platforms, right, networks. So it is very important for us to reevaluate all the channels. Just don't go by name. So in mobile there are much better publisher is available. You can work with the direct publisher like Times of India or Daily Hunt. There are multiples companies are available, or networks are available. You can reevaluate those networks. You can say that, hey, I want this many apps. For example, you want to target your user in Hotstar, and you want to target your user in Clean Master, for example, right? Those are the popular apps. And obviously if you think for your business and for your core audience, if that is the perfect TG and your TG go to those apps every day, please target those apps. You can pretty much do that today. You can tell that these are the app, or these are the segment, or these are the category where you want to target your user. So in terms of paid acquisition also, don't go blindly, don't go overall for acquisition. Set your target, set your affinity while doing acquisition campaign, so that your quality of the user will improve. And when your quality of the user will improve, automatically your DAU and the WAU MAU will eventually increase. So I want to summarize this. So basically, primarily you have to understand that your customer acquisition should not be very much in top level. It should be based on the category what you're selling, or based on the game what you're selling, and that should match with the affinity what you're targeting. So for example, you are trying to sell a casual game. You can't sell it to a executive director level TG, let's say 35-40 age TG. They will not play your game. They don't have time in life, right? You have to first understand what is your TG. Then based on that you have to figure out your affinities, that these are the apps I want to target, and let's go ahead and do the acquisition campaign. So precisely what will happen is the quality of the install will be much better, and eventually you will have more registration, more app open, and you will get your KPI met. So paid, non-paid, both, you have to do a very much smart activities because data is available. Take action based on data.
So the next question will be about growth hacking. Growth hacking is a very popular buzzword right now. We have growth hackers in almost every company that we know. I'm sure you know growth hackers personally. What does it mean to you? So what are the best growth hacks that you recommend for marketers to increase revenue? And how do you increase stickiness and improve your transaction rate? So we're talking about users who are already onboarded. We're not talking about acquisition. We're talking about the second part of the journey that app users have. So let's deep dive into growth hacking and what it means to you. And yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Sure. So growth hack is very much fancy word in nowadays, right? As you rightly said, and everyone want to do growth hack, right? So but this is very much subjective for any category of business, that what need to be done. So I want to break this growth hack for any category of business into multiple stages. So what I mean is, it is very important for a marketer to actually understand what is the target group, what is the audience we are, or demographic we are targeting. So I want to explain this. For example, our e-commerce who is actually selling flights, or sorry, maybe OTA is selling flights, or maybe e-commerce selling mobile, for example. So they have to understand first that what kind of target group they are actually want to target, and what is the demographic of that, what is the TG, and what they do on a daily level, right? It's very much important to have the user persona before doing anything, any activity. Okay, for example, I want to target user who want to buy apartments or flats in Bangalore. Okay, so I have to understand whom I should target for, who have the money to buy a apartment, right? So, and what they generally do in a daily level, right? What is the age group, or what is the income level, which are the company I should target for, all those things, right? And maybe my TG, what are the apps maybe they daily use, right? Fundamentally, they have to understand this persona first. Then they have to think that how to reach that audience. That is the next step. That how to reach that audience means in a broader scale. It can be offline, it can be online, based on the category of business again. So then you have to first figure out the tagline or how to promote that. Maybe you have multiple competitors, which is highly possible for any business. So you have to break it. What you want to sell to the customer, is it actually solving any problem for your audience, which is very important. For example, let's say I want to sell Sunant one phone, for example, but is it actually solving any problem on your life? So fundamentally, I have to understand that as a marketer. Based on that, I have to create those tagline, which you will be attracted on a second, or maybe within minimum time spent. What I'm trying to say in a deeper level is, on marketing campaign, so you will not have user attention for a longer time. So for example, you see it, we browse every day Instagram or Facebook, right? But we hardly spend a second and we scroll down the feeds, whatever it comes. So in between, there are ads, there are groups, there are multiples update, we see it every day. But you think about that, maybe your user also scrolling down and going through your ads, and they haven't spent time, they just scroll it. So that is what is happening today, but Facebook will charge you on impression. So I want to precisely focus on this, that please try to understand your core audience and TG, break it down, that how to reach those audience. May not be online or may not be offline, all channels are good, right? So as a digital marketer, obviously I still say that digital is much better in terms of ROI and targeting. You can figure out the analytics bit after the campaign. Offline, you will not have certain things after the campaign, but it works. So everything you have to see based on your core audience, whom you want to serve your product or a service. So fundamental things we understand now. So now I will come to the essential bit, which is growth hack. So now growth hack means, for any company or any business, to get revenue back from the users and to target those users with much effective cost, or maybe sometime without spending money, which is possible. And I will explain you today how to do that. For example, I have worked in HouseJoy, and in HouseJoy we have started construction business. So construction means, like, someone we have targeted who owns a land, want to build home. So in that, we have targeted those home landowners in Bangalore, and who are seeking to build their own home. So that is very much niche category. But we didn't gone ahead with digital campaigns or offline campaign first. We have figured out what can be the TG, what can be the target group, right? We have seen that there are multiple kind of target group, and we have segmented in between 3 segments. And then we have gone ahead for one segment on digital, one segment on offline papers, one segment on content marketing. So you have to figure out this. Figuring out the persona or TG, you should take maximum time, because that will actually impact maximum on your business, because you can't figure out your target group every day. So it is very important to sit with your management, or sit with your product manager, or sit with your tech guys, or who are actually fundamentally open this thought process of the business. They can explain you better that what is the product they want to sell, whom they are selling. Your job will be just to think about that user and how to reach that user. You have to think on a user level. You should not think as a marketer, because if you think always as a marketer, you can't reach efficiently to that user. So that is growth hack. Growth hack means that break it your TG, and you have to see their lifestyle and you have to target them. So today content marketing is actually playing a very vital and very major role on growth hack, right? And much cost effective way, because people actually spending a lot of time on content. For example, we also spend a lot of time on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hotstar. We all know that, but those are content, right? So
Yes.
you have to see that what kind of content we should get or bring on the table, and we should market for, so that my core audience will actually read. So what I essentially mean is that if my core audience, for example, is the landowner, I should write the content about, the types of the construction, types of bricks, what is the cost of construction, which kind of sand we should use, very much core. So how we should get it? I will give an example for that as well. So for example, any business you are doing marketing for, go to Google and go keyword planner and just type your business categories. You will see the search term, what people actually searching on Google for your business category. So you will have a basic idea that these are the search queries which is happening across India. Then you have to solve these queries. It can be through your SEO, it can be through your blogs, newsletter, it can be through any other contents like video. So now you know that these are the basic queries people are actually searching. So now you have
Yes.
to think through holistically that how we can solve it. You please focus first on the content, because that will be the fundamental to reach that audience. Then when you have this content marketing plan, you can also do a lot of paid campaigns as well after that. But don't go from the day one with Google or Facebook or maybe Taboola or Outbrain, because what will happen is running paid campaign is pretty much easy, right? And Google or Facebook, they made it so much easy so that
Yeah.
you will not use your brain. So today I recommend every marketer to not to go digital first, rather try to understand the core audience and TG, break it down that TG into demographic and affinity, that what kind of user behavior they have on a daily level. Then you know try to think that are we actually solving any problem on their real time, on your life, on their life, your audience life. Based on that, create a tagline on the marketing. Based on, write the content, see the search term, what they are actually searching on Google. So use all the free tools which is available, and try to make a marketing plan mostly on organic and growth hacks. See, any growth hacks will happen slowly, right? Slow and steady, but it will be stronger, and it will be much better than doing a paid campaign. For example, let's say you haven't searched in any of those things which I just explained you, and you have gone ahead with Google, Facebook, or maybe you have consulted your Google account manager, and obviously they want you to spend money on Google, right? And you spend all of your money on Google, and ultimately what happened, end of the month or end of the quarter, you spend the money, but you didn't got your actual audience or actual user what you should actually acquire. You didn't got your revenue for your business. Your management will say that what is the ROI for that, and there'll be argument, there'll be follow-ups. But that is why we should not face this kind of difficulties, because today we are sitting as 2020, and we have enough and good example for successful startup which we have seen over time, Flipkart, Ola, and Swiggy, multiple good companies which are unicorn today. We can see their case studies, how they have grown over scale, how they scale the business on a B2C level, right? Even on B2B as well. So my first suggestion for growth hack should be, don't spend money on any platform. Take a step back, think about your core audience, break it down that audience, and think that what problem actually you're solving to those audience. If you are able to solve a problem, get a tagline or get a marketing campaigns around that. That will give organically, your marketing campaign will go viral, and create content based on that. So the growth hack is a small word, but it means a lot. It means a lot. It is actually subjective based on the business category. So hopefully I had answered.
Amazing. That was a lot of information. So basically, what I can understand, and I'm sure our listeners are understanding, is growth hacking basically requires you to have do a lot of groundwork. It requires you to understand who your target audience is. It basically it's basically reverse engineering. So you go back to your the users and you see what they're looking for, try to solve the problem. Is your app actually there where people are looking? And that's where the content comes into the picture. Content marketing, as you said rightly, is very important for 2020. This is something that I also have to reiterate for my end, because people, this is something that I've realized. 8 seconds is what everybody says is the attention span of the new millennial or the new generation. But if something catches their attention, you bet it that they will give their 100% attention to it. So your content needs to be bang on target. It needs to be based on keyword research. Google is the be all and end all of search right now. So we need to actually rely on Google, but it is a very solid base that we have when it comes to creating content. And also, growth hacking requires a lot of back end work. It requires a lot of research, and that's exactly what you've told us. Thanks a lot, Suman, for that answer. So let's go on to the next question. Uh, I'm sure our audience is waiting to hear about your points on how to achieve organic growth in 2020 without spending cash. So could you please give us your thoughts on this, Suman?
So very interesting, right? So actually we have covered most of it in our previous question. So this is actually very important, right? So see, marketers, we get money from the management, management get money from the investors, so we have to respect that money, because money is not free, right? Today we should not spend money just for the heck of spending. That is the fundamental. And to get users, first you have to understand that whatever user you already acquired on your business, maybe you are running the business last 2 years, I'm sure you have acquired some number of users over time, or maybe you have started a month back or 2 months back, right? Give time to that product to roll out in the market. Don't start from the day one marketing, especially paid marketing. So essentially what I trying to say here is, when you are running a business, try to retain your users, because if you had already paid once to acquire a user, it is important, or it is our responsibility as a marketer to retain those users. And how to retain those users, we have already talked about awareness. We already talked about that, how to do automations, cross sales. So basically, existing users may feel bored or may not know what is happening today on your app. Maybe a new tournament is happening, new game is happening, but your user doesn't know. Or maybe some flash sale is happening, or maybe some price drop happened. They doesn't know. We, as a marketer, we have to do communication, and we have to do multiple times. User will not be offended. So you have to create multiple segments, and you have to see the data, which are the user already open based on your campaign. You should eliminate those on your current campaign, so that the same user will not see the same kind of marketing communication on the banners. So that hacks we already know. Today, what we have to understand is, first basic principle of 2020, it should be that we should not spend money on the existing users who are already acquired over time, and you already paid for it. Maybe you paid to Google, Facebook, or any other programmatic channel. So why to spend again? You must have their advertising ID or maybe their device IDs. Please retarget them on multiple platforms, get them back, make them aware what is going on today. And it is basically to understand, it is important to understand the user data first, because your user may be churned because of some reason. Maybe the service quality, or maybe the product was not good, or maybe the app was not working. It can be any reason. So it is important for any marketer to understand the user data, which is very important. Every day we should open the analytics tool, or every day we should open the data, and we should see that what is going on a user level, on a category level, on a city level, or maybe a region level. And top of that, you should pull out some 10-30 customer every weekly basis. Call those customer, nothing harm to call. Just try to talk with those customers, because sometimes what happen is this data will not give you the exact the opinion or exact solutions why they have dropped. You might have seen today that maybe 10,000 people opened Bangalore on your app, and you got maybe 100 booking. It can be 200, it can be 300 as well. Try to call your best user who are churned a month back, and try to talk with them what actually happened, why they are not opening the app, why they are not playing, or why they are not browsing. So if you talk with them, I'm sure you will have a best opinion or best problem what user is actually facing. You may not know sitting at office, because if it is a B2C or a B2B business, it is very much required. So we say that in B2B business it is much required to meet face to face, right? On B2C business we can't do that every day, because
Of
in
course.
B2C the number of users are so much, right? So much, so that we can't meet individually to all of our users. But I humbly suggest all of you that create segment, create those users. If let's say if 100 of your users used to play a month back, and last 1 month they are not coming back and they're not playing, we should definitely know as a marketer or as a product marketing guy that what happened, why they are not coming back, why they are not playing. Is it their personal reason, is it the product problem, or is it what exact problem? Is it technical problem, awareness problem? You have to figure out, because that is, because these inputs will give you a much better sense on your marketing campaign, much better sense on your marketing strategy. So I suggest that do not spend money, or do not make your marketing strategy based on just the budget what you got it from your investor or a management. Make your marketing strategy based on your user, what your user thinks, what your user want. If your user wants something you are not able to give, put that on your pipeline, on your product manager, let them build that. Because ultimately if your user is happy, you will get everything on your DAU will increase, your revenue will increase, eventually your business will be successful. So everything comes from user, whatever user. It can be a B2B customer, it can be a B2C customer, it doesn't matter. So as a marketer, it is very much important not to lose your existing customer. Try to talk with the customer, build a rapport with the customer. It can be a small business, small ticket size business, it can be a big ticket size business, but it is important to touch base with some set of users who used to be loyal but now they're not coming back. Find out those data from your DB or from your tools and talk to them. Nothing wrong to talk to them. It is not that call center responsibility to talk with the customer. As a marketer, we should definitely take that responsibility. And in 2020, I humbly request all marketer to talk or meet those users who are your loyal users, right? You will get a better experience, why they used to use, why they use. Even though a user who are using every day, you should meet them, why they
Yeah.
use your app. So it is very much important to know that the reason why they are coming again and again to your app, right? Maybe you can use that hook to build a better product, or maybe enhance those features which is are actually much popular, right, on some segment. So
Yeah.
this is important. And actually I think I'm almost covered on the questions, Sunand.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, customer is king. That's
Yes.
basically summarizing. So it basically is multi-pronged. So you have data, you analyze the data, you look at the segments, you look at the various levels of interaction that the user is having with the app, and then what you do is you try to design your campaigns around it. But that does not complete the picture. You need to get feedback, you need to get information, and try to understand what the user is doing from them itself. So feedbacks, surveys, questionnaires, these are the easy ways to reach out to your customers, those who have dropped off, or the people who are actually using it but they're not
Yeah,
using it daily.
you can also do
Yeah,
survey. So nowadays people do smart surveys. They send Google form or Survey Monkey they use, which is also fine. But I'm seeing that but those are very much on a functional level. Let's say you
yes,
send to a survey a link, right? See, maybe you will get a response to 1 or 2% of the people out of the total base. But if you talk to that customer, right, they will go out of the box and they will actually answer the honest feedback,
exactly,
which is very
exactly.
important.
Yes, yes. One-on-one connect is very important. That's a very good suggestion, Suman. So I think yes, we have come to the end of the questions that I have for you. Thanks a lot, Suman. I really appreciate you taking time and talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you all our
Okay.
listeners.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. I'll see you soon and stay tuned to MoEngage. Bye.